are listening to Reinvented, and I'm your host, Jen Eckhart. If you went out to nightclubs in early 2000s or popped in one of those mixtape CDs you and your siblings used to illegally burn back in the day, before the days of streaming music on Apple and Spotify, you know what I'm talking about. Looking at you, LimeWire. I can confidently guess that one name that will inevitably show up 10 out of 10 every time is my boy Sean Paul. Even actor Jake Gyllenhaal said in a recent interview, Sean Paul makes even driving fun. And I agree. You can literally be sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and Sean will just make you want to bust a move in the middle of the highway. He's one of Jamaica's most successful, prolific artists, and I am so excited to welcome Grammy award-winning artist Sean Paul live from Jamaica on Reinvented with Jen Eckhart. Sean, everyone has got to love you. See what I did there?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. You?
Sean, I'm doing well, but I'm doing well because you're on the show. Your music not only shaped my teenage years, but played a significant role during my Miami, Florida upbringing. I mean, every dance party, every prom, every car ride, your music was always blasting. How does it feel to have that sort of a lasting impact on generations?
That's amazing. Still kind of confused and boggled by young people still listening. So I'm thankful, though, very thankful.
No, we love you.
I'm able to do songs with people like Sia and Clean Bandits lately, which kind of, in the past few years, kind of garnered me a few younger fans as well. So good stuff, you know what I mean?
I love it. Well, listen, I'm in Manhattan, New York City right now. You're in Jamaica. Like, full disclosure, I would kill to switch places with you. I'd love nothing more than to be on a beach in a bikini, like with one of those, like little test tube alcohol floater thingies in the back. You know what I'm talking about, right?
You got it all pictured out.
Well, do I get some street cred? I've been to Jamaica a couple times. I've also been to Dunn's River Falls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, that's dope.
Well, I'm just curious. Living in Jamaica, is everyday paradise for you?
I love where I live. I've never lived anywhere else. I've done a lot of touring all over the earth, but this is my home.
Tell the fans and viewers and listeners out there something about Jamaica that a tourist wouldn't really see or know to do. Like, I've obviously been to Jamaica a couple times, but I want to go back and see Jamaica, but like Sean Paul style. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you come to Kingston in Jamaica, there's a beach here, a very nice beach. It's called Hellshire Beach. And it's got the most amazing fried fish on there. If you do like seafood, they got lobster, they got conch. Fish on the beach is definitely a must do if you come to Kingston. That's something that a lot of tourists might not be able to experience at first. If you get to know someone and they take you to that beach, it's kind of amazing.
Well, you just gave our viewers and listeners some insider information. Thanks for that. Sean Paul's our Jamaican tour guide over here. Listen, switching gears, I wanted to invite you on my show because you fit the theme of reinvention so well. You're not just a Grammy award-winning recording artist and producer. To me, Sean, you're a visionary who has truly reinvented the music industry. You brought dancehall to the masses. Get Busy, your first major hit, came out, I believe, in 2002, nearly 20 years ago. I want to know, to what do you attribute as the driving force behind being able to reinvent and evolve your music spanning 2 decades?
For me, there's no formula. I just kind of do what I feel and what's out there. I keep my ears to the ground. I try to stay in touch with younger producers that are coming up. I help them out over the years until they turn to big producers. And, we do work together. So also younger artists. That kind of helps keep me in the loop. You know what I mean? Even in my international work, doing work with people like Becky G, she's younger than me, but she's as dope as any other artist that I've worked with is. So I take the chances on these younger artists and producers at times. Alexis Jordan was one of them. You mentioned "Got to Love You" earlier. She hadn't had a song before. I just liked the song. And so for me, it's about a song. It's about, listening to what the fans want from me and also kind of just staying in tune with what's coming up next.
Absolutely. And I think what I love about you, Sean, and what I think a lot of people love about you is you send the elevator back down. Have you heard that of that phrase where you can ride the elevator to success, but if you don't send it back down to the little guy and help him out?
Yeah. At first, I didn't realize what you're saying, but yeah, I get it now.
There you go. Great analogy.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, you need to press that back down button or whatever. You need to send it back down for people. And what I'm trying to do right now with this album that I dropped earlier this year, Live and Living, it's my own production. It is the first album I've released on my own label. And just been a good vibes, you know what I mean? Working with, as I said, people who I really respect or rate in the business. I revere their talent. I like the way they are determined, you know what I mean? And,
Absolutely.
And so a lot of these guys are my friends also, and it's kind of cool to just
you are the king of collaboration. You know, people often say you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but I found that reinvention is the key to living a truly fulfilling and authentic life. You've always gotten sort of out of your comfort zone with this sort of music. Do you remember how it felt listening to one of your songs play on the radio for the very first time? Like, walk your fans through where you were when you first turned on that radio and heard your music.
Well, the first time I had a demo print of a song that I did, and I took it to a person who I really respect, and he actually appears full circle now on this album. His name is Muta Baruka. He's a radio show host, but before that, and more prominently than that, then I could say he's a very dope poet from Jamaica. Also a philosopher, and he has a great radio show that, you know, it makes me think, and I've always listened to him for quite some time. So I really like what he taught me, and I took this record to him. He had a bookshop in New Kingston, and I was like, yo, I just have this song. I'm a new artist. Maybe you could check it out. And he said, okay, cool. And I was still in college then. I was studying hotel management, and I went home to do some schoolwork. At about 11, 12 o'clock that night, I was like, oh yeah, I gave Muta this song. So I ran to the radio, I turned it on. And as I turned it on, I kid you not, he was saying, yeah, this you time of a tune when just listen to tune. And it was a very conscious tune. It was about the disparities between uptown and downtown Jamaica. You know, so like rich or middle class people to the poor people. I was kind of showing the differences, and I had no one to tell. There was no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, no TikTok. Yeah, I couldn't do none of those. I was like, yo, looking around. My brother had just gone to sleep. My mom was asleep. And here I was alone with my schoolwork, hearing my song for the first time.
How old were you?
I was about 24, actually. I was in college. And so it was, you know, I started late in the game in terms of most dancehall artists, or a lot of prominent ones, started from their teenagers or even before. Like Beanie Man started when he was 9 years old. So yeah, just even being a late starter, it was just an amazing feeling for me to know that people out there were hearing, and that's the whole point for me to express myself in whichever way I want.
Right.
And people hear it. For me, that's just a great feeling.
You know, I love the song Lionheart from your latest album. It's definitely my favorite track. But the last track on your album is called Everest. I thought that was really interesting because there's a lot of symbolism there that your average listener or fan may not know. Why is it called Everest, and why did you make it the last track?
Well, I was saying in the song, my respect for me that people have is taller than Everest. But also, I really believe it felt like forever. Like it felt like a hard task to
like
get
climbing Mount Everest. Making this album was like climbing Everest, right?
Yeah, it felt like, you know, to get the younger guys to work with the more established acts, to just do it on my own for the first time in terms of with no label backing, just me being the label. Those were all new territory or waters to me, to, you know, and also the red tape that comes when you are a producer or when you're a label, you know, the management versus the lawyers versus all of these stipulations that have to happen. Usually I'm just like very cool with artists. And so that was kind of new to me. And it felt like I was climbing up a huge mountain.
Wow.
But yeah.
And you've changed their lives, I'm sure, in ways that you didn't even realize.
There's a lot of good that's come from it in terms of both sides. You know, I'm able to keep in the younger listeners' earshot in Jamaica and keep up to date. And also, I'm able to shine a light on some people's career who some of my fans worldwide may not know of. And so it was a double-sided sword. It was very cool to be able to do. And so I named the last song Everest because I feel like
you conquered it, summited the mountain.
Straight.
I love it. Well, I think that speaks volumes of your character, Sean. I know we're throwing it way back here, but in one of your hit songs, one of my favorites, Give Me the Light, Just Give Me the Light.
Hey.
Can you, seriously, I've had so many people ask me this. Can you, or are you allowed to break down what the rest of the lyric means? I know what Pass the Dro means, but what does Baklamo mean? I mean, it's driven me crazy since I was a teenager, and I Googled it, and no one seems to know what it means. They're like, is it an alcoholic beverage? Is it champagne? Yeah. So can you clear up the confusion for us?
Well, yeah. The lyrics say, give me the light, pass the Dro, bust another bottle of Mo. So when I say bust another bottle of Mo, I'm really saying open some champagne, Moet specifically.
Yes.
So yeah, Moet Imperial.
So here's the thing. I'm never going to refer to it as that. I'm going to say Baklamo. That's what I'm going to say. So when I'm at a liquor store, I'm going to say, "Can you pass another Baklamo?" That's what.
Yeah, man, pass some more.
Sure. Oh, I love it. Listen, we love you, Sean, because you've always stayed true to yourself, your fans, your sound and genre while collaborating with so many different artists. Listen, for those who aren't even familiar, like the older generation tuning in right now, like you've worked with everyone from Beyonce, Sia, Tovlo, one of my favorites, Major Lazer, Rihanna, Ellie Goulding, David Guetta. I mean, recently Shaggy and Spice, the list goes on and on. Who would you love to work with that you haven't already collaborated with? Like, who would be your next dream collaboration?
Out the box style, I would love to work with Billie Eilish. I think she's dope. Yeah, I also like 21 Pilots as a group. I think they're dope, and something could happen between me and them. And something I was thinking about the other day, you know, I've always loved the Beatles. My mom instilled that in me. She loved them, and she played the music around the house. And, you know, Sir Paul McCartney, it would be an honor to do a song with him.
Wow.
Meaningful song or a happy song or whatever it is. I think he's a musical genius. And he came from one of the best groups of all time. And so,
absolutely.
Yeah, big up to him and the entire Beatles and their whole catalog.
That might surprise a lot of your fans listening right now. Like, whoa, Sean Paul listens to the Beatles, but you said your mom listened to the Beatles. So that's how you started listening to them?
Yeah, as a kid, she was like, I want to hold your hand. And I was like, what? And she would play it. And you know, immediately, the first time I heard songs like that, it was a hit for me. And, you know, always went back to the record player and played it back. And then years later, I was able to buy the one CD, which was all their #1 hits. And check out all their stuff. You know, I found that in the earlier years when I was younger, I really liked those happy songs. But then recently, I've been loving songs like Strawberry Fields. They're more like psychedelic type vibes. And I
love it.
Just love the work, man. Love the work.
So unique.
Love their music.
People would listen to your sound and your music, and they would probably never think that you listen to the Beatles. And I love that you just dropped that truth bomb. Like, whoa. Like, so listen, Sir Paul McCartney, if you are listening to Reinvented with Jen Eckhart, Sean Paul would love to work with you. Is that fair to say?
Sure. For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Sean, how do you write your music? I'm just curious, like, where do you pull inspiration from? Do you write it on a notepad? Do you make notes in your iPhone? Like, explain how the creative process works for you. Like when you're in the studio and you're like, whoa, this is going to be a major hit. Like, how does that work?
You know, the rhythm track really speaks to me. It tells me what I should say on it. You know, a lot of the times I get an amazing inspiration. I'll go in the studio. There's no pen or book or phone, but I do use those things at times when it's probably I get stuck a little. I have to write it down and say, wait, let me picture this whole song. But for songs like "Give Me the Light" was such a good feeling song. The rhythm was just like, this is party. This is like, yo, this is great. And I was like, what am I going to talk about now? I'm going to talk about last week in New York. People were busting bottles of Mo in the club. You know what I mean? I was looking at the ladies. I was trying to find which one was for me. Yeah. So, and those are always fun. And I try to approach music like that and not try to write it down and box it into something. Yeah. Because I find that when I do that, you're really trying to recreate what somebody else did. But when I listen to the track and just get the feeling of what it wants me to say, I kind of go towards that, you know. So a lot of my songs have to do with ladies. So definitely ladies inspire me. You know, my mom was a single mom for quite some time. And wow. I think ladies do so much for, for society and just, you know, in general, just me going out and dancing with a lady or being at the bar and looking over there and seeing a young lady shake it or go down there, as me and Shaggy and Spice said. That's very inspiring. Love it.
Another new single of yours that I absolutely love. Sean, you just performed that on Good Morning America. It was so great. Yeah. But just so much respect for you. And I didn't realize your mom was a single mom. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Thank you for
some time.
Yeah. On that. Over the last couple months, we've seen celebrity boxing matches skyrocket in popularity. I don't know if you've noticed it. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, Aaron Carter, Lamar Odom. If it was a charity like the Sean Paul Foundation, for instance, would you be up for participating in any sort of celebrity boxing match? And if so, who would you want in the ring with you?
It's so funny because this morning somebody said that I should duke it out with Charlemagne the God. And I was like, you know what? He better watch out because I got some kickboxing skills, you know what I mean? The knees can come right up.
I love it. Charlemagne.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to punch some government officials up if that's possible. Right? We could do that.
I think you and the rest of the world, they would definitely sign up to see a boxing match between you and government officials. But hey, that's awesome. So, if Charlemagne, if he's listening, you'll take him on in a boxing match.
I don't know. So, you know, people were like, he can't test you, bro. So pick someone with some clout, you know, pick someone that will really give you a challenge. I don't know. He got a lot of talk, so, you know, maybe we could. But anything for charity, for a good cause, I would help out. You know, I mean, I do a lot of charity here in Jamaica, you know, helping people in need all the time. So
you do.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Listen, we're going to play a super fun game. it's really quick. I'm going to say a word and you have to say the very first thing that comes to mind. Okay. Are you ready?
Cool.
I hope you know who he is. All right. Here it is. Chet Hanks.
That's a blank for me. I don't know who Chet Hanks. Oh, wait. That's yes. Sorry.
So universally loved worldwide actor, Tom Hanks. It's his son.
Yes, his son. Yes.
Yeah. White Boy Summer. Does that ring a bell? White Boy Summer?
Exactly. Yeah. Dope. So the first word comes to my mind is chatbot, or the first phrase. Chatbot, which means he talks bad. He talks crazy patois like I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, you know, he came out with this song called White Boy Summer. Personally, I don't get it. I don't agree with it. But he does speak Jamaican patois despite being like super white, like full on Caucasian. I wanted to roll the tape of it like really quick just to play a few seconds, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chatana. Coming straight from the Golden Globes, you know what I'm saying? We've finished by the Thomas presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
I mean, I can't. But honestly, is that offensive, or does Chet actually really know what he's talking about? I have to know.
It's not offensive to me. I mean, I think people get all up in their feelings for a lot of reasons on the internet.
Yeah.
But if they were right there with Chad, they would probably laugh it off as well. So I think that it's important to look at the stuff on the internet that way. A lot of people, they hate, they cuss, they fight, they disagree on the net. Yeah, on the net. But when you're in front of the person, it's not perceived that way. So that's one of the problems with social media. I always try to remember that.
Yeah.
So big up Chad. No, his accent wasn't perfect, but he was doing better than a lot of people that I know.
Hey, I saw you laughing. It made you laugh. So there's that.
It does, yeah.
So, well, $1 million question. Is the door open for a Chet Hanks featuring Sean Paul White Boy Summer remix?
I'll do the brown boy, white boy remix.
I love it. You heard it here first. White boy, brown boy remix. Love it. Oh my gosh. Well, if he's listening in, Chet Hanks, got to come on the pod. Gotta do the remix with Sean.
Yes, my boss. Big up.
From Chet Hanks to Elon Musk. Wow. Those are two names I never thought I'd use in the same sentence, but here we are. You were quoted, Sean, in a recent interview when asked who your dream dinner guest would be. And you surprisingly answered, correct me if I'm wrong, but you answered Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. I thought that was such a cool answer. What is it about Elon that interests and inspires you?
Basically, I just kind of wanted to, the question was asked to me, and I was at first I didn't like the Cybertruck thing, but now I really love it. Just checking out the specs of it, the amount of miles that it goes. So I was trying to get an in on how I could get a special custom one. And when the question was asked, that's the first thing came to mind. I was like, oh yeah, Elon Musk, let me talk to him. Let me have a dinner meeting with him and find out how I could custom one of these trucks out. I've always wanted an electric car. I've never moved to it. Reason being is because I like big trucks.
I would love video footage of Sean Paul riding in a Cybertruck in Kingston, Jamaica. Like I would pay money.
Yeah, man. I'll put a big set in there. You know what I mean? I'll play Got to Love You in there.
Got to Love You. I love it. I love it. So listen, so hypothetically speaking, like if you're sitting at dinner across from Elon Musk, besides the Cybertruck, are you asking him to be the first dance hall artist to perform in space?
Oh, I don't know. That's something I'm not in agreement with him on, going to Mars. I think we could do a lot of stuff here with that same money that could benefit people here that are kind of like lost or suffering or, hurt in some way. So for me, I would probably discuss that with him too. But a lot of his ideas are way out the box, like this chip in the brain thing. I'm not a fan of that either. But I really do like the space program he's had. As a kid, I was always like looking forward to seeing when people actually do go out of this atmosphere and explore. You know what I mean? So that's something that I've always looked on. But I always thought it was governments who should do it. You know what I mean? So with him, I would discuss it fully. Yeah, for sure. All of those topics. And I would still try to get a proper steering wheel on the Cybertruck because I don't like those weird steering wheels.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing, though, that you and Elon Musk do share in common is you both are visionaries. I mean, whether you completely agree with his ideas or not, I remember, so I'm a TV journalist. I worked at a national network for nearly a decade. And when I first met Elon, Sean, he walked into the green room. He had no suit and tie. He had no assistant, no publicist with him. Like he didn't show up with an entourage. And he shook everyone's hand and made eye contact with them. And in my industry, that's so rare. You know what I mean? Like you look at billionaires and it's like, you feel like they're untouchable, but he was very personable and likable. And I think, but when I look at a guy like Elon, I see that those same qualities in you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll try to be as great as him one day because he's doing big things, man.
Well, you're doing big things and you're putting out such great music and positive vibes and energy out into the world. When I think, frankly, we need it most. I think, honestly, if we just had more Sean Paul music play, the world would be a much more peaceful place.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Listen, Sean, after everything you've learned and accomplished, if you had one piece of advice to give to your younger self, before embarking on this incredible music journey that you've had, what would it be and why?
As I said before, like I don't have the formula, so I really wouldn't know. I still don't have a formula that I use. I just try to stay true to how I feel, and I would tell my younger self, just do it, bro. Just do it with your full heart. There's a representation of how I felt in my video, "Give Me the Light." Um, Me and Little X did. I was walking on this path of light, and then there was a blank, and I put my hand out to feel, and there was no light there, and you could see that there was nothing there. And then I took the step, and then the light lit up. So it's kind of like that was about faith. And I think I would tell my younger self, keep the faith, bro. Just keep doing what you do. You know?
I love it. Take that blind leap of faith. Take that scary leap of faith.
Straight.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Sean, for your fans and other listeners out there who are tuning in, what can you promote right now? What can fans look forward to? And what's next for Sean Paul besides riding around Jamaica in Elon Musk's Cybertruck?
or maybe going to space one
fighting
day, right?
and fighting Chet Hanks in the boxing ring. What's next for you? What can you promote?
Well, my album Live and Living is out. It features hardcore dancehall acts. And I'm about to drop a new album called Scorcher, which features so many great songs and acts as well. So I'm about to shoot the video this weekend with me and Ty Dolla $ign. It's a song called OnlyFans, which is a pretty cool song. I'm big up all the ladies who do that, you know what I mean?
OnlyFans, like the OnlyFans, the website. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like poking fun at it, but also just celebrating ladies who are able to, make a means by doing things like that.
Posting photos of their feet or other acts.
Yeah, straight. And maybe one day I'll get my own OnlyFans account and I'll show you how I trim my beard or so.
I love it. You know what? I think this is a lucrative business venture for you. I think a lot of people would love a Sean Paul OnlyFans, but maybe I love it.
Yeah, big up to everybody on the album. There's people like Sia on the album. Me and her had a number one already.
Cheap Thrills, great song.
Yeah, I'm looking for a big response for this song. It's called Dynamite. Really feel good song. Gwen Stefani, I'm a fan of her, and she's on this album as well.
Wow.
With me and Shensia on one song, and a Lovers Rock reggae song. So kind of like I'm Still in Love, my song I did with Sasha quite a few years ago. Stylo G's on the album, and Junior Gong's on this album also with Nicky Jam. So it's a loaded album as well.
When does this drop?
I can't wait for people to hear it.
When is it?
It's going to drop sometime in the summer. I haven't actually set the date yet. I'm actually finalizing most of the songs this week. So it should be a couple weeks from now where I kind of pinpoint the date and tell everyone. But I'll tell you first.
Thank you. You'll tell me first. Reinvented.
Sure.
Jen Eckhart. I love it. Sean, thank you so much for taking the time today. Thank you. Also, thank you for all the awesome memories from my teenage to adult years. I mean, you really have been a staple in my music library for as long as I can remember.
I appreciate that so much. And that's what I do it for people to have a good time and kind of free up their mind of the problems that exist. As a kid, there was a lot of problems. My father went to prison. My mom was dealing with 2 businesses by herself and 2 kids by herself, me and my younger brother. And so I always look forward to music and socializing on the weekend with my friends. And for me to be able to do that for people is an awesome, awesome thing, man.
You bring people together. You're the king of collaboration over here. Well, how about this? Let's hang out next time I'm in Jamaica. Daiquiris on me. Deal?
Hey, definitely.
Oh, wait, hold on. Baglamo on me. How's that?
I'm going to hold you to that. Definitely.
Just give me the light. I got the light.
Do it up. Do it up.
I love it. Anyway, Sean, thank you again. I'm so excited. For all my viewers and listeners out there, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. That's available wherever you listen to podcasts. Sean, thanks again for coming on. Reinvented.
Thanks for the time. I appreciate the love. Thank you.
Of course. Bada bang bang. I'm Jen Eckhart. I'm Jen Eckhart. Thanks everyone for listening.